Good afternoon from Los Angeles and welcome to Stock Market Today, sponsored by Interactive Brokers. On today's show, we're going to be taking a look at Axon as well as Autodesk and Roku. But first, we want to take a look at those major indexes. It's Alyssa Corum here, and I'm joined by Ed Carson. Thanks for joining me today, Ed. And let's take a look at the major indexes. We did finish up across the board. The NASDAQ gained about 0.7%. The S&P 500 closed up 0.4%. The Dow even turned positive, gaining about 0.2% for the day. So this market rally is not letting up even on a holiday week.
Yeah, no holiday for the stock market. It's just been really strong. I mean, it's like incremental gains. I mean, today the NASDAQ was a little bit more than incremental, but you just seeing that steady gain. You can actually see that's a green line on that chart. That's the 10-day moving average, and really all the major averages has basically been moving above it except for maybe one day. Very strong action. I mean, basically since early October, everything's going very well. More breakouts. Breakouts are working. It's just been a really nice action to end the year here. That
it has, and now that we do have, I guess the NASDAQ especially, a little bit more extended now above that 10-day, does it seem like we might see a little bit of a pullback here?
You would expect it at some point. I mean, it's odd how calm the market has been, given that we're going to be heading into election season. We still have a trade war going on. You would have expected at least some volatility, but right now everything's going fine, and if it did pull back, that wouldn't be bad.
Right, but I think it definitely just goes to show you that you can't get too bearish too quickly in this market, even with all of the headline risk that we're seeing and us continuing to hit new all-time highs. We will definitely take our signals from the market as we get them.
That's right.
All right, and first on our list, let's take a look at Autodesk. The ticker there is ADSK, and my chart isn't coming up right at the moment, but we did see a big jump today for Autodesk on earnings, and it's made quite a big run over the last couple of weeks or months here.
Yeah, I mean, it actually ran up to a buy point today. I don't know if it closed above it. I think it was just below it, but it really has surged quite a bit over the last several weeks. It reported its seventh straight quarter of triple-digit earnings growth last night, beating views. Its guidance wasn't great, so it actually traded lower overnight, which was in line with what it's been doing. It actually sold off pretty sharply after the prior three earnings reports, but maybe this time it's really going to do it. But at the same time, boy, it's getting sort of due for a pullback, so it'd be a little nerve-wracking. It'd be nice if it could settle down. Mm-hmm. But with one downside of the market going up and up and up every day is that we don't see stocks pulling back, at least until they've hit their buy points.
Yeah, that's right. And I think this also bodes well for the continued improvement of the software sector, which is one that, of course, all year we've really been watching. Then over the last couple of months saw a bit of weakness, but I feel like this is yet another signal that group is on the up and up, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
All right, and moving on, we want to take a look at Axon Enterprises, the former Taser. And some interesting intraday action here. I think a bit of resiliency with Axon testing near that 10-day line, but really coming off of intraday lows.
Yeah, it broke out yesterday, really on no particular news. Today I got an analyst downgrade, and as you see, sort of like Autodesk, it had run up, especially after earnings. You can see that big gap up day a few weeks ago. So you could argue it was due for a pullback. It pulled back, but yeah, didn't get to the 10-day. It didn't get to the 7 to 8% sell rule. And it quickly rebounded. It was just sort of a little bit of a shakeout, which is sometimes what happens when you have no handle with the cut base. Really nice action. We were discussing this on IBD Live at the time. We were saying, it's normal action, fairly bullish, and I did close in that buy range. There's a lot of nice things going on with this company. It's expanded into cameras, and then it's really doing a lot of stuff in the cloud, keeping a lot of documents. So it went from those non-lethal tasers, which it still sells, but really expanding out. It's got that's our new America this week. So it's a nice story for for everybody to read. I mean, the story as a stock, which is right. You want to learn about that. There's something new going on with an old leader.
Yes, that's definitely a good thing to mention. And on that earnings day, we did see the stock close up about 25% off of the intraday highs, but still that's such a huge move. And what we usually say is after those big earnings moves, we like to see the stock hold its gains, but Axon not only held the gains, but it continued spiking higher. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on this one as it is trading right around that buy point still. Yeah. All right, and last but not least, we want to check in on Roku as we're still in the thick of this ever-evolving streaming wars, and Roku right in the middle of that with Disney Plus coming out. And we saw Roku staging a breakout today over a cup with handle base, but it hit a bit of resistance at the buy point. Yeah,
it reversed lower, and we were talking again about this one again on IBD Live. At the time, even when it was in buy zone, it's like, well, if you look at that base, it's sometimes hard to tell with the scale, but it was a 44% deep, and you can see the big swings up and down. It's not a very calm action, very deep, and when it's more than 40% deep, it's just more likely to fail. And this stock is sort of well known. It had already run up 436% in 2019 up through Tuesday. So. And the handle, there wasn't a handle on the weekly chart, so there wasn't that much of a shakeout. So there's a lot of reasons we were like, well, this certainly could work, but there's a lot of reasons why you might be nervous about this, so it's not that much of a surprise either.
Yeah, actually, if we could pull up the weekly chart really quick just to take a look at that. I think definitely a good time to buy this was back in May when it gapped out of a base on earnings, and like you mentioned, it's been on just a huge run since then. It could be working on a cup. Maybe we see yet another handle form here, but it is still trading above an aggressive entry, which I talked about on investing strategies. But we'll keep an eye on this current handle, which has a buy point at 165.20, and see where it heads.
Yes.
All right, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. And I just want to let you know we do have an episode of this week's Investing with IBD podcast dropping a day early due to the holidays. So that audio file is out now, and we will be having the article with the show notes and charts available for you coming up soon. So make sure you're keeping tabs on investors.com/podcast. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Of course, we'll be off tomorrow for Thanksgiving. We hope everyone has a very happy holiday, and we'll see everyone right back here on Friday.
That sounds great.
All right. Thanks so much for watching. See you Friday.